How are we doing, guys? I'm here with Chris Tolman, the maker of the Peugeot GTI Tolman Edition. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Perfect, great. So I'm just going to ask him a few questions just to get to know the car, so you can get to know the car. Well, first of all,
Hi, Louis.
pleasure to meet you.
And you?
I suppose what I want to know is, like any older car that's existed before, why improve it? Why did you feel the need to improve it? And then sort of just a brief history of Tolman itself, because I know you don't just do GTIs.
No, we do lots of things. You're absolutely right. The ethos behind the Tolman Edition is, and the analogy I usually make is like you want to go and see your favourite band in concert, but you want to hear the songs that they actually play. You don't want the lyrics changed. You don't want some huge guitar riff or drum riff in the middle that's not what you want. You want to hear them, but you want to hear them at 11, not 10.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what we've tried to do with this. So I've been involved with Peugeot Tolman for donkey's years. My father was a mechanic, got me into it. I had 205 GTIs when I was in my early 20s. So for me, it was buying something that I wanted from back then. And
You've lived and breathed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we restored one as an exercise. And then I was sat there thinking, this is during lockdown, actually, I can improve this. You know, with the race team stuff that we've done, we can do a lot with the suspension. Made subtle changes that make it slightly less aggressive in terms of how it drives on the road, but better. Another thing that the company does an awful lot of is a lot of ECU work and improvements within modern electronics. So we've put a modern ECU on the car, which not only gives us more power, more drivability, it also adds a lot of safety to the car.
Sure.
And then we've done things like you come from our motorsport background, and we use motorsport spec materials.
So what have you raced? What have you done with motorsport out of interest?
So me personally, I did some hill climbing and sprinting when I was younger. Motorsport has always been my passion. So when I left school, I trained as an aircraft engineer because I was told it was the best thing to do. And from there I went to ProDrive and was an engine builder on the Mondeo Super Touring cars.
Not too far away.
Then I spent 7 years at Mitsubishi Rally Art on the World Rally Championship. So that's the history and background of me. And then I started Tolman Motorsport in 2007. We then started racing various cars for clients, preparing them. And that culminated in 2015. We ran a GT4 Ginetta in the British GT. Had an outright win in GT4 in our first year, and I think we finished third in the championship with an amateur driver. That then put us on the radar with Ginetta. So Ginetta approached us, and in 2016 we developed and ran the GT3 Ginettas for Ginetta. 2017 we ran the first customer McLaren GT4 570S.
The first ever customer.
First customer one in the UK in British GT.
Wow.
We then outperformed the factory both in reliability and performance. So for 2018 I won the contract to run the McLaren driver development car program for McLaren Automotive. So we did that for 3 years.
So it's kind of safe to say you kind of know what you're doing around cars.
We've done a bit.
I feel like it's a nice hybrid of, if you've had them when you were younger, you know in and out anyway. It's not like you've had to reintroduce yourself to something. So you knew probably where you could improve anyway. Pair that with obviously just years of just proper experience. You can just add everything into this, and it's just the best of, it's probably the best that anyone could really come up with, really.
It's the best that we can do to make a road car. We're obviously a motorsport company, a motorsport heritage. Making a racing car is quite easy. Making something that drives nicely on the road and is not on a hair trigger, it's actually really difficult, and we had to put a lot of work into that. But what we didn't want to do is change the car. It still needs to drive like it. So we worked really hard with getting the exhaust so it sounds like it should do. We've worked hard on the suspension damping, so it still performs like a 205. It's just a little bit better.
Well, I suppose that has to be the case, because people aren't buying these new. They're giving you their older car, so they still want that DNA within the car.
Absolutely.
They're not saying to you, I just want a new car. They love that car and they're looking for just the best version of it.
So what we're finding is the customer base of people that either had them when they were younger or didn't have one when they were younger. Their demographic is probably mid-40s onwards, usually very successful, high net worth. They've seen them, they've gone, I really love that. I remember that. They've read the reviews and gone, oh, it drives really well. It's all the things I like. And it's different to a Porsche or an Aston.
Okay, yeah, because I'm a Porsche guy. Yeah, I get it.
But they're achievable. And one of the things I look at, so if you go back to 1984, which you won't remember because you're far too young.
Sadly, 2001, so sadly not.
So I had a Lamborghini Countach picture on my wall.
Sure.
That was the crazy thing for me. Never saw them.
Okay.
Right? They're not on the road.
Yeah.
You might, if you went to London, be lucky enough to glimpse one. Flip that forward to now, you can see a Lamborghini almost anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah? They're not exclusive.
Yeah.
They're high end.
Yep.
Also, the cost of them. They're probably a couple $100 grand.
Yeah.
Back then, unachievable. So the analogy now is, if you want that unachievable supercar, it's now a hypercar.
Yes.
It's a Bugatti, it's a Pagani,
Yep.
it's a £2-3 million car, which you don't see.
No.
So in terms of pound for performance and what you're getting, there's an awful lot of people that will spend 100, 150 grand on a car because they're out there. And people want something different.
Yes.
And you get more stairs driving this than you do an Aston or something like that.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's not like this thing's competing for horsepower figures. Nope. I think the world we live in now with electrification, I think most premium car brands now, they're not worried about horsepower and figures like that anymore, because you can buy it now pretty cheaply. You can get a lot of horsepower. So what I think a car means now in a modern time, not just a commuter car, but something a bit sportier, is it's how it makes you feel.
And exactly, you've hit the nail on the head. You do not need to be going 160 miles an hour to enjoy driving. You can enjoy this and it feels fast and it's engaging and it's analog and you're enjoying what you're doing at a much lower speed.
Yeah. Well, as you said, it's road going, isn't it? It's not for the... People might take this on track if they feel like it, but it's for the road.
It is a road car.
Sadly, you can only really go 70. It'd be great if you could go faster, but to me, like, I'm enthused. I have a little sports car. It's that you're driving 30, all of a sudden you see the 60 sign, you think, I can have a little bit of fun here. Within, so it's being able to have fun and like a visceral sensation between 30 to 60.
And it's that perceived feeling. So if you jump in a brand new 911 Turbo, you can do 70 miles an hour and it doesn't feel fast. Yeah. You can jump in this and do 70 miles an hour and it feels quick. Yeah. So everything feels better.
Yes.
Without having to do the speed. Yeah. And I had it with one of my customers. I said, he took his car, he said, oh my God, it feels so fast, but you're not going fast. Yeah. And I went, exactly. But what do you want? Do you want to be able to brag that you can do 180 mile an hour, 200 mile an hour, or do you want to enjoy what you're doing? And he went, that's a very good point. And he sold 3 cars. Okay. Modern cars, because they're so far, you can't use them. They're far too quick. Yes, it might do a Nürburgring lap time or round a track. But it's not the everyday. You can get in this and drive it to the shops and it's fun. Yes. We drove here tonight and you just have a smile on your face.
I can still feel the heat off the engine. It's crazy. I think especially when you're talking about these big supercars, I feel like, as you say, on the road, you're meant to only go 70, aren't you, maximum? Yep. So it's all well and good saying you can go an outrageous speed. You're the one driving the car. Yep. You're not driving it on someone else's behalf. It's what can you feel. Yep. I'd rather own something like this and say I can get the absolute maximum out of it. I can enjoy the whole thing, rather than saying, oh, I've got a Pagani and I can only touch maybe like 1% of its power. Do you know what I mean? Because what's the point in that? In my opinion, what's the point?
And it's the thing that people tend to forget now is power to weight ratio. So this might only have 130 horsepower, say, but it's under 1,000 kilos.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about ratios, right?
Yeah. The magic figure is about 300 horsepower per ton.
Okay.
That is a seriously fast automobile.
Yeah.
Seriously fast.
Yeah.
So you look at things like an SF90, which has got nearly 1,000 horsepower, but look how much it weighs. Yes. And are you using 1,000 horsepower all the time? No, because it's managed. You've still only got a small contact patch on a tyre.
Yes.
So, and you can't drive that car hard. You might be able to go full throttle, 100% throttle in first gear. You're not going to be able to do that in second because we're over the speed limit.
Yeah, exactly right. And I feel like, to me, you lose something there a little bit because you're just always going to feel like you're never really getting
the future is the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we are living in a world now of resto mods, aren't we? Yep. Like, I went to see some Chimeras, they're fantastic. Yep. Singer's obviously just fantastic cars, which, I mean,
Singer colour.
This is a Singer colour, fantastic. Yeah. So I think, for me personally, as someone who I am living in the past when it comes to cars. I like looking at the old rally cars. I like looking at these because it's interesting to me. I don't like electrification. It's not for me personally. I like to see older cars tastefully improved. I mean, especially in this colorway, you're getting an eye catcher, aren't you?
Yep.
Especially because I've only ever known these in the darker color. So a green like this, you're going to catch someone's eye, and then they're going to hopefully see the little Tolman. It's a conversation starter, isn't it? And to me, cars like this are meant to be driven to car meets like this, like literally exactly where we are now, and just enjoyed and spoke about like we are now. So that to me it gives me a little bit of hope as a young person in the motorsport world. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
But I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thank you for asking my questions, and
you're welcome. Thanks so much. Good to meet you.
Take care.